Alrighty, hello everyone, this is Alan from MysteryMTG.com, and today I'm showing you our South Korean LGS Elves in Espresso. I know the last two videos were not the most positive because we just got robbed, and I do want to apologize for being super aggressive and emotional in the last video, but it was right after the robbery, so it is what it is. Let's take a look. So, here we are. Sorry if the camera is a little bit smudgy, but here we are. So this is the LGS. We, of course, have some sealed over here. We have singles organized over here, binders with higher-end singles, a menu, some D&D stuff, tea, etc. So this is kind of interesting. It's a bar slash cafe slash game store, and we mostly get gamers who come in who also want beer, and we also get a lot of Koreans who just come in and just want coffee or, you know, whatever, basically. But the terrace is a bit of a mess, and it still is a mess, but we have this big table, really good for D&D, and then it's just messy. Over here it's just messy, but yeah, we have some seats for people over here as well. And then, you know, the issue with this shop is that there just isn't that much space. So the most utilized table is this big table over here with 6 people. Luckily here, I mean, we still have cameras, we still have security, but it's fairly safe. That being said, we do full insurance, we do third-party monitored security, and I'm actually going to increase that given what just happened to the US shop. But this is the store. This is the store. This is where we're at now. Let's do a little bit of a wider angle so you can get a better look. But it's been very successful. It's actually doing pretty well, and there's less headache compared to the US shop. Just because it's smaller, and you know, there are some really good days where people come in and buy boxes for singles, and some days it even beats the US shop in terms of sales, which is crazy. But a little cocktail menu. And then of course we don't have that much to offer compared to the US shop. We have Dragon Shield, Commander decks, starter decks, board games, and if you buy coffee or beer you can play any of these for free. So, you know, the LGS is, it's popular with the foreign community. During the day, in the morning, we get a lot of Korean customers, and then during night, we get a lot of foreigners, basically, come in. And I say foreigners because that's what they call them in Korean, 외국인들, which means people who are not Korean, people from foreign countries. And they come in and they just have fun with board games, and it's nice. It's a comfortable place to come when, you know, sometimes it's hard for people who aren't from here to go to Korean restaurants and cafes. But it's pretty cozy and comfy, right? And so the cool thing is, whenever you buy a beer or alcohol or whatever, you get this in a wooden stein, which is really fun. And you know, people love that. And of course, you know, it's still a bit messy, it's still a bit improperly designed in my opinion, but it's doing what I wanted it to do. And you know, the thing is, here in Korea, the market is dying. Not just for us, for every LGS. There are less Magic players because Wizards of the Coast Korea no longer exists. So that is a big issue. Also, our area, Gyeongnidan and Haebongchon, it's going downhill fast. A lot of really popular restaurants and bars are closing now. We're still holding up, but our neighborhood, our street is not holding up. So we're now at the almost 1 year mark to the day that I signed the lease. There's a lot of things I would have changed. Now let's talk about a few of those things. What would I have done differently? For anyone who wants to start an LGS, or anyone who wants to start an LGS in South Korea, not many of you, but maybe 1 or 2 of you have that idea. What would I have done differently, and what would I do going forward? One, we're on the 2nd floor, and that is a bit of an issue. It's hard to get people to come up when you're on the 2nd floor. 2, we're doing many things. We're a cafe slash bar. We're a game store. We sell singles. We sell sealed. We do D&D events. We do trivia nights. There's a lot going on. I think it would be better. Our community likes that, so we're going to keep doing that. But I think it would be better if I had done it completely anew. You pick one avenue. Either you do the cafe, or you do the bar, or you do the game store, and then you lean very heavily into that. That will help your sales a lot. I know a lot of Magic players that come here, will come here and drink coffee and have fun, but they're not going to buy singles from us because they go to a different game store that has way more sealed and singles. Even though it's a little bit more expensive, they have a better system for organization, and they can get you the singles faster, and they're just more consistent, which is something that I want to get to eventually, and be one of the game stores that you come to because it's consistent. But when you're doing coffee and you're doing food and you have to do prep and you have to do all that stuff, it's very difficult to nail that down. So that's something I definitely would have changed. And then of course, I think the interior, I would have completely, this whole thing, this table was a part of this table, and then it was just too big, so people didn't use it as much. So now we've pushed that, and then we've done this as like a place where people can just sit on the side and push that against the wall and just get work done. But it's more often used as a bag holder or where people put their jackets and stuff. It's all over here, which kind of sucks, right? It's a bit annoying because that's not what the table was really meant for. This table as well, a lot of people try to play Commander here, but there isn't. It's just a little too small, which is something, you know, it's hard to find tables that fit this interior that also are good for Commander or D&D and are, you know. So yeah, we basically have to redo the interior eventually. But in general, I mean, the moment you walk in, it's a very comfy looking place, right? Our regulars like it, and of course we're not playing music now, but we do have music playing through the Bluetooth, and we have an interior bathroom, which in Korea isn't super common. Sometimes you have to go outside, and sometimes there's you know, for men and women, same bathroom, but we have separate bathrooms for men and women, which is a luxury, I guess, for some people. But I'm happy with the way it is. I think it's comfy. I think it does what it needs to do, and people enjoy it. And now that the US shop has so many issues, we're going to have to do a lot of things to that place to make it more like here. A little bit more comfy, not just survive off of singles and sealed anymore because it's so risky. We need to start doing coffee, we need to start doing food, we need to start doing drinks, and then have magic and stuff as a side thing where people can come in and buy cards and stuff. So as someone who's been running an LGS for a while, I will say I'm going to put the camera down here and just talk to you, and I hope the aircon isn't too loud here, but as someone who's been running an LGS for a while, I do want to say that if you're going to get into this, really prepare for Mystery and for this shop and for the shop in Tokyo. We did more of a, I know the aircon is going to be messing up the audio, so I'm going to move real quick. So for those shops, we did it on the go, we did it on the fly, and they turned out all right, they turned out okay. But if I could go back in time, I would plan it out just a little bit more, and then I think, you know, we maybe would have been able to do better in terms of space usage. So that's the whole thing now. And the hard part is paying companies to do this is going to be wildly expensive for you. Even a cabinet or a shelf is going to be stupidly expensive. The utility versus what you're going to pay. So sometimes you're going to be, you know, you're going to want to buy from IKEA. The issue is that furniture isn't fitted directly for your store. It's not going to be exactly what you need, and that's going to become an issue later down the road. So I would say have money ready to fit the store out as you need it to be fitted out, and don't give in to the temptation of just getting used things. Like all these chairs were free. They were free, but they have a bunch of issues, right? And you got to keep fixing them and stuff like that. Sometimes people don't think they're that comfortable compared to other cafes that spend $100 per chair. So this is the give and take. Besides all of that, for those who are interested in the US shop, there are a lot of positive developments, things that I can't really talk about right now, but we're on that guy's ass. I don't think we're gonna get the cards back. The insurance company, we filed the claim. We're gonna wait to see the response there. I don't think I'm gonna get much back there as well. Our GoFundMe raised like $800, of course, very shy of the $24,000 we need to completely outfit the store with new security. It is what it is. People are supporting in other ways. I just did that because if anyone was willing to give, it's a time that we need it. There's a lot of internal miscommunication happening because everything's so crazy. My wife is super angry because I'm super busy and I need to be helping her with the newborn. My mental health is taking a big hit, and that's another thing. If you're gonna get into this, be prepared to go hire a therapist, because every single owner in the small game store, Sanctuary, which is a big group of store owners on Facebook, we're all incredibly stressed out, and a lot of them give up eventually. A lot of them move on to greener pastures that are more peaceful, but some of us are still sticking around and grinding it out. And there's a way to do this to where you're not super stressed out. Maybe just don't have a brick and mortar and just sell through TCG Player and stuff like that, which can definitely be viable for some people. But here we are. Elves in Espresso took me a while, but I think it's in a decent spot now, and I'm happy with where it's at least for the moment. So upcoming plans for the shop, we're gonna completely renovate the walls in terms of storage for D&D books and dice, etc. We just don't have space for it now. As you can tell, all of the shelves are completely packed right now, and we need more space that's customer facing. There is still a problem with theft in Korea too, much less than America, but there's still a problem with that. Especially when people come for vacation and they're here for like one day, they might be willing to take something because they're like, well, I'm gonna leave tomorrow anyway. So sometimes they'll come in and they'll give it a good shot. We usually catch it, but it's still an issue. There you go. Elves in Espresso, South Korea. I know a lot of people didn't think we'd be able to get it done and didn't think the store would open. It's been open for a while now, and it's doing really well. I'm very happy to say. If you can't speak Korean, if you're opening a new store in a market that you don't like, I lived in Korea for 10 years. I can speak Korean. My wife's Korean. I have a home here. I have a car here. Most of my actual life is in Korea. If you don't have that and the knowledge, don't do it. I'm not just talking about Korea. I'm talking about any market that you're unfamiliar with. Be familiar with the market. Be familiar with the area. Be familiar with the buildings, the codes, the issues with some of these older buildings that you have to fix, like water leaking from the roof. These are things that you're going to have to know how to deal with. And if you don't know how to deal with it and you just go pay a random person to do it, it's going to be incredibly expensive, okay? And the landlord very often, even in the US shop, is not liable for a lot of things that will happen that you think they should be irresponsible for. That's just not the case a lot of times. So that's that. Elves in Espresso, South Korea. Here we are. I'll post another update when things change, and I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a look. So I will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Wanted to post something a little bit more light, because I know the past few have been pretty negative and about robbery and blah, blah, blah. So I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas, and I'll be uploading more soon. Hopefully some pack openings. I cannot wait for Innistrad Remastered. We'll definitely be doing some collector display breaks for that set specifically. And hopefully I hit the 1 of 1 or the 1 of 100 Edgar Markov. That would be sick. All right, anyway, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.